At number 10, Dio Brando from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Dio's betrayal is the one that started everything. Taken in by the Joestar family as a boy, he spent years systematically destroying Jonathan's life, poisoning his father, stealing his relationships, and eventually using the stone mask to become something far worse than human. It's barely a hidden betrayal. Dio never pretended to be good. But it is the foundational act of evil that set 6 generations of Joestars against him. Every JoJo story exists because of what Dio chose to do. Number 9, Don Quixote Doflamingo from One Piece. Doflamingo spent a decade ruling Dressrosa as its king, a king who kept his subjects literally as toys, erasing the memories of everyone who loved them. He framed the rightful king for slaughtering his own people to seize power. He used his own crew as disposable pawns. And when Luffy came for him, he activated the birdcage, a dome of razor strings that would close over the entire island unless his targets were handed over. A man who built his whole kingdom on betrayal, willing to kill everyone in it. Number 8, Lelouch, from Code Geass. The Euphemia scene is the most shocking accidental betrayal in anime. Princess Euphemia had just announced a special administrative zone, a genuine peace offering to the Japanese people. Lelouch, explaining his Geass ability to her as a hypothetical, accidentally activates it. The command, kill all Japanese. In seconds, a peace ceremony becomes a massacre. Lelouch didn't plan it. But in that moment, faced with the fallout, he made a choice. He leaned into it. He let the world believe he turned her into a monster on purpose, because a martyred princess was more useful to the revolution than a living one. The betrayal of Euphemia, of his own values, and of the peace they almost built happens in under a minute. Nothing in the show hits harder. Number 7, Danzo Shimura from Naruto. Danzo is the most insidious betrayal on this list because it happened entirely in the past. The Uchiha clan was already planning a coup. Danzo saw an opportunity, went to the third Hokage behind everyone's backs, and gave a boy named Itachi an impossible order: kill your entire clan, or we go to war and thousands die. Itachi chose the clan. Danzo got what he wanted. He spent the next decade seizing power in the shadows, running a covert organization outside the Hokage's authority, and presenting himself as the village's most dedicated protector. The armful of stolen Sharingan eyes says everything.
Would that be worth trading?
Number 6, Kyubey from Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Kyubey offers any wish in exchange for becoming a magical girl. What he doesn't explain is that the soul gem isn't just a power source, it is the magical girl, her soul physically extracted from her body. The girls are already dead in any meaningful sense. And when a soul gem fills with enough grief and darkness, it becomes a grief seed. The girl becomes a witch. The very monsters they were created to fight. Kyubey's defense is technically perfect, he never lied. His species has no concept of emotion and genuinely doesn't understand why this is a problem. That alien indifference makes him more disturbing than any villain who enjoys cruelty. He's a system. And the girls were always fuel. Number 5, Shou Tucker from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Tucker is a state alchemist, the sewing life alchemist, who achieved his certification years ago by creating a chimera capable of human speech. Ed and Al stay with him briefly, and they bond with his daughter Nina and her dog Alexander. Then Tucker creates his second talking chimera. And when Ed and Al hear it speak, when it says their names, when it says play in a voice that sounds like a child, they realize what he's done. Tucker used Nina and her dog. His justification, you do what you have to, it was for the research, draws the most raw anger Ed shows in the entire series. The horror isn't just the act. It's that Tucker saw his own daughter as a resource. The most personal betrayal on this list. Number 4, Obito Uchiha from Naruto Shippuden. For years, the masked villain Tobi was the series' greatest mystery. Operating behind the identity of Madara Uchiha, orchestrating the revival of the Ten Tails and the Fourth Shinobi World War. Then the mask came off. Obito Uchiha. The boy Kakashi thought died during the Third Shinobi War. His best friend. The man who gave Kakashi his Sharingan. Obito didn't die. He was recovered by Madara, and then he watched Rin, the person he loved, die at Kakashi's own hand, and that moment shattered him completely. The betrayal works on every level: his village, his teacher, his friendship, all sacrificed by a man who believed he was building a world without suffering. His logic was broken. The grief underneath it never was. Number 3, Reiner Braun and Bertholdt Hoover from Attack on Titan. For 2 full seasons, Reiner and Bertholdt are teammates, friends, brothers in arms. Reiner is the protective big brother of the 104th Cadet Corps. Bertholdt is quiet, loyal, always in his shadow. Then, mid-conversation, seemingly out of nowhere, Reiner says it. "I'm the armored Titan." And Bertholdt is the colossal Titan. No dramatic build-up. No theatrical reveal. Just tired, almost associated honesty, like a man who has been carrying a secret too long to bother hiding it anymore. They are the 2 Titans responsible for the breach of Wall Maria, for the death of Eren's mother, for the collapse of civilization as these characters know it. And they have been living beside Eren this entire time. The best executed twist in the series. Number 2, Sosuke Aizen from Bleach. The soul of Aizen's betrayal is the setup. For most of the Soul Society arc, Aizen is a kind, soft-spoken captain. Popular, approachable, one of the most trusted members of the Gotei 13. He was apparently assassinated mid-series, his body found slumped in a chair. Then he stood up. The corpse was an illusion created by his Zanpakuto, complete hypnotic control over anyone who has ever seen its release. He was never dead. He was watching. And everyone in Soul Society, without exception, has seen his Zanpakuto release at some point in their lives. Aizen doesn't just betray his captains. He reveals he has been manipulating events from before the series even started, engineering Rukia's death sentence, guiding Ichigo's training, orchestrating every arc as a path toward obtaining the Hogyoku. The calm, deliberate smile as he leaves is one of anime's defining villain moments. Nothing was real. And he planned it that way. Honorable mention: Itachi Uchiha from Naruto. At the time it was presented, Itachi's betrayal was one of the coldest in anime. He murdered his entire clan overnight, leaving only Sasuke alive. The reason he sits at honorable mention rather than the main list is what comes later. The truth turns the betrayal into tragedy. Itachi was ordered to do it, sacrificed everything to prevent civil war, and spent his shortened life protecting the village that gave him that order. The betrayal was real. The man behind it was never what anyone thought. Honorable mention: Annie Leonhart from Attack on Titan. The female Titan, hiding inside the walls the entire time. Unlike Reiner's almost accidental reveal, Annie maintained her cover with cold, almost disturbing professionalism until the moment she couldn't. The fight in Stowis district is one of the most brutal in the series, and the crystallization that follows Annie sealing herself away rather than face capture is its own kind of betrayal, leaving every question unanswered. Another honorable mention: Sunsui Shinobu from Yu Yu Hakusho. Sunsui was the spirit world detective before Yusuke, the best there ever was. Then he witnessed a demon-human collaboration so depraved it broke his worldview completely. He concluded humanity was the real monster and dedicated his life to destroying it. The betrayal of spirit world, of everything he once protected, came from a man who cared too much and saw too much, and simply snapped. And another honorable mention: Askeladd from Vinland Saga. Askeladd orchestrated the death of Thorfinn's father, from the beginning. He spent years letting Thorfinn chase revenge, keeping him close and useful. But the more the series unfolds, the more you understand Askeladd. He wasn't just a villain. He was the most complicated man in the room. A betrayal that never fully felt like one, because everything he did had a reason, even if Thorfinn never got to hear it. And number 1, Griffith, from Berserk. For over 100 episodes, Griffith is one of the most compelling characters in anime. The leader of the Band of the Hawk, a mercenary company built from nothing, driven by a singular dream: his own kingdom. Guts is his greatest warrior, his closest friend. The relationship between them is the emotional core of everything. Then comes the eclipse. The God Hand offered Griffith apotheosis, a place among demon gods, in exchange for sacrificing the Band of the Hawk. Everyone. The people who bled for him, who followed him across years of war, who loved him. Griffith makes the choice without hesitation. The eclipse is the most brutal sequence in anime for a reason. It isn't just that Griffith sacrifices them. It's the look on his face when he does it. There is no conflict, no grief. The dream was always worth more than the people who helped him chase it. Griffith is number one because he didn't betray his values. He revealed that they were never what anyone thought.